Aging is a universal experience, yet each of us navigates it in our own unique way. In a society that often places youth and productivity on a pedestal, it's easy to overlook the profound beauty that comes with growing older. As we age, we gain the chance to pause, reflect, and see life from a deeper, wiser perspective. While there are undeniable challenges that accompany aging, both physical and emotional, there are also incredible gifts that come with this stage of life. For many, getting older offers the opportunity to reevaluate priorities. The pursuits that once consumed us, career, wealth, status, often give way to a greater desire for connection, health, purpose, and love. However, the path of aging isn't always smooth. It comes with its share of losses and heartaches. Yet, these experiences offer powerful lessons in resilience, reminding us how fleeting and precious life truly is. Today, we'll explore the 7 realities of aging, not to stir fear, but to help us embrace the complexities of this journey with grace and gratitude. If this reflection speaks to you, I encourage you to share your thoughts in the comments. And if you're enjoying this content, please hit that like button and subscribe to Stoic Rise Up for more insightful discussions on living well as we age. Let's continue this conversation on what it truly means to age with wisdom and purpose. Reality 1. Having everything but lacking a lifelong companion. From the very beginning of our lives, relationships play a defining role in shaping who we are. They give us a sense of belonging, purpose, and provide comfort through life's ups and downs. As we grow older, these connections, particularly with a lifelong companion, become even more significant. The presence of a trusted partner often offers stability, support, and companionship through the later years of life. But what happens when that companion is no longer there? One of the most profound challenges of aging is the loss of a life partner. Whether through death, divorce, or simply never having found that special someone, the absence leaves a deep void that is both emotional and practical. Imagine spending decades of your life sharing experiences, joys, and hardships with another person, only to one day find yourself alone. The emptiness that follows is far more than just an emotional ache. It's the absence of a life that once was shared. Simple everyday tasks, cooking, handling finances, or even deciding how to spend your day, can suddenly feel overwhelming without that person to share them with. Loneliness sets in, and it's not just the absence of your partner that weighs heavily, it's the loss of the shared journey. This type of isolation can have serious effects on both mental and physical health. Research has shown that seniors who experience loneliness are at a much higher risk of depression, anxiety, and even physical decline. The World Health Organization (WHO) has pointed out that elderly individuals living alone face a greater risk of mental health challenges and even a shorter life expectancy. The void left behind by the loss of a companion is not only emotionally taxing, but can also impact one's overall health and well-being. This reality reminds us how vital it is to nurture the relationships we have while we still can. The connections we foster with loved ones provide not just companionship, but also resilience when life throws its toughest challenges our way. Take a moment to reflect. Are there people in your life that you've taken for granted? How can you strengthen those bonds today, before it's too late? Reality 2. Having wealth, but lacking health. Throughout much of our lives, we are led to believe that financial success is the ultimate path to happiness. We're taught to work hard, save diligently, and build a stable future. But what happens when that future finally arrives and we realize that no amount of money can buy back our health? One of the greatest ironies of aging is reaching a point of financial security only to find ourselves unable to fully enjoy it due to poor health. Many people spend their lives chasing wealth and status, believing that it will lead to lasting happiness. But as we age, chronic illnesses such as arthritis, diabetes, heart disease, and cognitive decline often surface, making it difficult to enjoy the rewards of a lifetime of hard work. Imagine someone who has spent decades climbing the corporate ladder, accumulating wealth and prestige, only to find themselves immobilized by illness in their later years. The luxury cars, the dream home, and the overflowing bank account suddenly pale in comparison to the loss of independence and vitality. But it's not just physical health that takes a toll. There's an emotional weight that often comes with deteriorating health in old age. Many elderly individuals find themselves reflecting on their lives with regret, wishing they had placed more emphasis on their well-being earlier on. The long hours at the office, the high levels of stress, the poor diet, and the neglect of physical activity can catch up with you over time, leading to the harsh realization that health was sacrificed in the pursuit of wealth. However, the story doesn't have to end this way. The sorrow of declining health in old age is not an inevitable fate. There is still time to make changes, no matter your age. Preventative measures such as regular exercise, maintaining a balanced diet, and paying attention to mental health can significantly improve both the quality and length of life. Research has shown that adopting healthier habits, even later in life, can reduce the risk of chronic diseases and help preserve your independence and vitality. So ask yourself, are you currently putting off taking care of your health in favor of other pursuits? What would your life look like if you made your well-being a priority today? Now is the time to take those small steps, because the greatest wealth you can ever possess is good health. Reality 3. Feeling abandoned by your children. One of the most heart-wrenching realities many elderly individuals face is the feeling of being abandoned by their own children. After spending decades raising, nurturing, and sacrificing for their kids, some parents find themselves alone in their later years, with little to no contact from the very people they dedicated their lives to. In today's fast-paced, geographically scattered world, families often find themselves living far apart, sometimes across states or even countries. This physical distance often leads to emotional distance, as adult children become increasingly consumed with their own lives, careers, and families. What starts as occasional missed phone calls soon turns into rare visits, and over time, parents can feel disconnected, isolated, and forgotten. Yet, this sense of abandonment is rarely intentional. More often than not, it's a byproduct of the demands and distractions of modern life. Adult children might not even realize the depth of their parents' loneliness or their feelings of isolation. For elderly parents, though, this emotional gap can be one of the most profound sorrows of aging. However, this painful reality doesn't have to be permanent. Relationships between parents and children can be rebuilt, even after years of emotional distance. It takes open communication, a willingness to reconnect, and forgiveness on both sides to mend the bonds that time and distance may have weakened. For parents, expressing feelings of loneliness without placing blame can open the door to healing conversations. For children, taking the time to check in on aging parents, whether through a quick phone call or a visit, can make all the difference. When was the last time you reached out to someone you've lost touch with? Could today be the day to reconnect? The burden of continued dependence. While some elderly parents feel the sting of abandonment, others face a very different challenge, the burden of continued dependence from their adult children. Instead of enjoying a peaceful retirement, many elderly individuals find themselves once again stepping into the role of caregiver or financial provider for their grown children. In today's unpredictable economy, it's not uncommon for adult children to struggle with financial instability, job insecurity, or relationship breakdowns. When these difficulties arise, many turn to their parents for support. For elderly parents, this can mean dipping into retirement savings, delaying retirement plans, or even returning to the workforce to help their children make ends meet. But the toll isn't just financial. The emotional burden of continually supporting adult children can weigh heavily on elderly parents. They may find themselves offering advice and emotional support through personal crises, or even stepping in to help raise their grandchildren. Reality 4. The loss of independence. One of the toughest realities of aging is the gradual loss of independence. As we get older, tasks that once felt effortless, like driving, managing finances, or even getting dressed, can start to feel overwhelming. This loss of independence strikes at the very core of our identity, especially for those who have spent their lives being self-reliant. The shift from being capable and active to facing physical limitations can be deeply challenging. Physical challenges, such as mobility issues, chronic pain, or declining vision, can make daily activities seem insurmountable. The frustration of needing assistance for tasks once taken for granted can lead to feelings of helplessness, resentment, and even despair. But But the loss of independence isn't just a physical battle. It takes an emotional toll as well. It's about the psychological impact of losing control over the life you once managed so confidently. For many elderly individuals, this loss of autonomy is one of the hardest challenges to face. In Western cultures, where independence is highly prized, the experience can be particularly painful. Many seniors want to age in place, staying in their own homes for as long as possible. But as physical limitations increase, the need for assistance becomes inevitable, and the thought of moving into a care facility can feel like an erosion of dignity. Here's the important truth, though. Losing some independence does not mean losing your dignity. Accepting help isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of resilience and resourcefulness. Learning to adapt to life's changes, whether through technology, community support, or simply asking for help, allows you to maintain control over the most important aspects of your life. So, how can you find new ways to adapt and thrive, even as life challenges your independence? Instead of seeing assistance as a loss, it can be seen as an opportunity to create new strategies for living well. Aging doesn't mean giving up control. It means adjusting to new circumstances and continuing to live with purpose and strength. Reality 5. Outliving friends and loved ones. One of the most poignant and heartbreaking realities of aging is the sorrow of outliving those we love. As the years pass, many of us find ourselves attending funerals for those who once meant the world to us. Spouses, siblings, lifelong friends, and even tragically our own children. The grief of losing these cherished relationships weighs heavily on the heart, leaving us with a profound sense of isolation and loss. For many elderly individuals, this pain is compounded by the deep loneliness that follows. The relationships that were built over decades, filled with shared memories, inside jokes, and a mutual understanding of life's ups and downs, are suddenly gone, leaving behind an emptiness that's hard to fill. It can feel as though the very foundation of life has shifted, and with it, a sense of security and belonging. But the loneliness that comes with outliving loved ones isn't just an emotional burden. It has real physical and mental health consequences. Research shows that social isolation and loneliness are linked to higher risks of heart disease, cognitive decline, and even early death. For those who have lost their closest companions, the world can start to feel smaller, quieter, and more isolating. While the sorrow of outliving loved ones is unfortunately a reality of aging, loneliness doesn't have to be. Even in the later stages of life, there are ways to build new connections and find meaning. Community centers, senior living facilities, and volunteer organizations offer spaces to meet others who may be navigating similar circumstances. Many seniors find purpose and fulfillment by mentoring younger generations or joining intergenerational programs where they can share their wisdom and life experiences. Have you taken steps to nurture the relationships around you, or are you letting loneliness take root? It's never too late to create new connections and find companionship in unexpected places. By reaching out and engaging with others, you can continue to enrich your life and the lives of those around you. Reality 6. The burden of regret. As we enter the later stages of life, it's natural to look back and reflect on the journey we've traveled. For some, these reflections bring a sense of contentment, knowing they lived a life filled with purpose and fulfillment. But for others, this introspection can uncover feelings of regret, missed opportunities, unspoken words, and dreams that were never realized. These memories can stir up emotions that weigh heavily on the heart, casting a shadow over what could have been. Regret is one of the most difficult aspects of aging. Unlike losses that come from external circumstances, regret comes from within. It's a lingering sense of having taken the wrong path, or having made choices that led to unintended consequences. Maybe you spent years chasing career success but sacrificed your true passions along the way. Perhaps you prioritized work over family and now feel distant from your loved ones, or maybe a meaningful relationship slipped away because you didn't act when you had the chance. As we grow older, the finality of these decisions can feel overwhelming, as the ability to make changes seems to slip away with time. The weight of regret can have a significant impact on mental health. Dwelling on past mistakes may lead to feelings of guilt, shame, or sadness. And for some, this emotional burden can result in depression or anxiety. It's easy to feel trapped, believing that the window to make amends has closed, leaving no room for new opportunities. But here's an important truth. It's never too late to seek forgiveness and make peace with the past. Whether it's forgiving yourself for the choices you made or reaching out to others to heal old wounds, letting go of regret can be a deeply liberating experience. Taking steps to mend broken relationships, seeking therapy or counseling, or simply accepting your past can help release the heavy burden and allow you to move forward with a sense of peace and closure. Is there something from your past that continues to weigh on your heart? What can you do today to start letting go of regret and find inner peace? As we confront the realities of aging, whether we are preparing for our own later years or supporting the elderly loved ones in our lives, it's important to remember that we are not facing these challenges alone. Millions of others are walking the same path, and there is great strength in community, connection, and understanding. If these reflections resonated with you, please leave a comment with one love to share your thoughts. And if you have a different perspective, comment too. I'd love to hear from you and keep this meaningful conversation going. Don't forget to subscribe to the Stoic Rise Up channel for more stories, reflections, and insights on the journey of life. There is so much more to explore, and I hope you'll join us as we navigate these experiences together.